Hello and welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast because one more just will it. I know what you're thinking. Is this a bronze Greek god or is it David Dickinson from Wagner? No, it's just me. I've been on holiday to Cyprus, but I'm back now. So without further ado, let's crack on, shall we? So today's first guest is a legend in Italy and England. It is our friend and one of the main contributors to my OnlyFans. It's Andrea Russo. Hello, Andrea.
Hello,
Thank
Danny.
you very much
Thanks
for
for having me.
coming. Benvenuto nel podcast.
Grazie mille.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir. And the dynamic duo, which is Kev and James from the Leeds House podcast. Say hello, lads.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know any Italian, so you're all right, mate.
No worries.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So I'll just write this down. Download Italian podcast. Welcome, lads. Welcome. And just for Juan, learn from the best. Learn from the best. Thank you, Danny. Always lovely to see you in the comment section. And
Yes,
we're on the road to 100 subs, so here we go. 8 away from 100 subs. Right then, lads, how is everyone? Everyone good?
Yeah, fine. Friday, so end of the week, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
great.
good at the minute as well, yeah.
For the past, what a past 48 hours, really. Isn't it? It's been great. Up until about an hour ago. But let's go all the way back to the West Brom game, right? Quickly, because some idiot went on holiday and managed to find a dodgy stream abroad and couldn't make head or tail of it. So, Kev, can you start us off with just your overall thoughts on the game?
But I'll be honest, I thought we hammered them, really. It's just the referee was fucking shite. Oh, sorry, I don't know if we're allowed to swear on this, but
That's all right.
yeah, it was terrible, mate. Referee was terrible. Shouldn't have been a goal. Some really, really good signs in that game of how you can see Farker balls coming through. So I'll take that as a win, even though it was only 1 point. I'll take it as a win, is the way that you can see that the football's actually started coming through, and the way he loves playing out from the back, you can see that it's getting into the squad. They all seem to be buying into it, and he's getting the best out of some mediocre players in there as well. Like, your Dan James was fantastic, and it's probably the best game I've ever seen him play in a Leeds shirt, and hopefully that continues, really.
Yeah, I agree. He's the Welsh Sonic in my eyes, and he can. I think, Andrea, do you agree that Dan James has been really well?
Yeah, it was his best game. Like Kev said, in a Leeds shirt, probably it was constituted a threat, especially because on the other side we are Shackleton, so we needed to overload on the left wing naturally, and yeah, it was really with a one-on-one attitude, in that game. So yeah, for me, it was the best player on the pitch for us. And the second one, honestly, probably was Shaq too, because he moved pretty well all around for me. But yeah, really, I think James is still developing in this new system, because of course when we saw him under Bielsa, unfortunately with all those injuries, he was forced to play in number 9 position multiple times, and it's not clearly his position. But I think he'll get better too when we get a number 10, and especially now we have Piroe combining with those players. I think he'll get even better, so he can pass the ball to the center and then attack beyond the spacing behind the defense. That would be brilliant for me.
I feel tactically smarter when I hear you speak. Is that a thing? James, how angry were you when you saw the goal? Did you start turning green? Did your clothes start to rip?
I laughed, to be honest with you, mate, because we're just back in here, weren't we? Having the same shit happen to us all over again. So I even said, like, even if VAR wasn't there, they still would have kept the goal anyway.
Probably.
This is what happens.
It's just basket football.
I know exactly, but I agree with the boys. I think that we battered them, to be fair, with a team that you put out. I was a bit worried about it, but after that game, I was quite happy with the way we played. And yeah, I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, I thought we absolutely battered it, to the point where I think they were starting to fix their own boilers, and it's just like it's like what rubs the salt in the wound for me about that goal is that Malumba should have been off.
Yeah.
For the deliberate on ball, because he's definitely got a future as a goalkeeper as Malumba. Saying now, great stuff, and then for the drag back when he got done. So that's what really absolutely rocks. Funny enough, I actually thought you, James, and I thought, wow, his wall must be taking a pounding right now.
We were linked with him as well, weren't we, earlier in the window? And everyone was like, "Oh, he could be good
yeah.
for us." And then he just goes and does a handball, drags Dan James back, stays on the pitch, and sets up the goal as well.
Mishit it as well.
Yeah, and celebrates like that too.
Yeah, like he just boomed it from like 40 yards, and he scuffed a shot to somebody, and he punched it in.
Yeah,
did not deserve that celebration, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolute tool.
I thought, you little rat. How can you go celebrating that? Like you've just R1 circled it, and you know what I mean? It's on top of it. Get out of here, mate. Get out of it. So I like to Rutter. I'd like to come to you, Andrea, if I may. Where do you see Rutter? Because for me, it's not a 9. His best work, because he's an artiste, is from the wings. Where would you put him?
Yeah, I agree with you. He's not clearly a number 9, because if you look, especially at the West Brom game, he was, apart from that shot from outside the box in the final minutes, he was terrible. He was the worst player on the pitch for us, honestly. But it's not the fault. It's not his fault in the end, because he's clearly playing out of position. I don't know what Horta saw when he brought him in and presented him as the number 9, because he's clearly not a number 9. And I agree with you, Danny. He's clearly a winger. He's clearly a winger, especially if you see some of his goals with Hoffenheim when he was in the Bundesliga. A lot of them came from the wing, actually, with him drifting centrally and shooting from outside. He has an older player at the minute. He struggles physically, especially with Ayaji and Piroe struggled massively. They won the physical battle. He lost it, and especially his tactical positioning, his tactical awareness on the pitch, off the ball when we are in possession needs working for real, because he used to go near the wingers, and the ball got stalled there because there were 2 players in the same position basically, and no one centrally. And so now with Piroe, I still don't get the pronunciation, if it's Piroe or Pyro. I don't know. I say Piroe.
Yeah.
With the number coming from your mouth.
Pyro sounds the best.
From your mouth.
We call him Pyro. We call him Pyro.
Yeah.
No Pyro, no Pyro.
It was English, like the.
It's on fire. It is.
Language we can get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with Pyro in the middle instead of Rutter, I think we'll have a player we'll get in the end of a lot of those low crosses, especially from James. The finish from Ailing actually was like a number 9. Like a striker that with the cross from James, and with a proper number 9, we see a lot of those situations. I think with Piroe, it will be different. Rutter, I think, on the wing or as a number 10 right now. We need to try him.
Let's talk about the.
Oh, sorry, carry on, Danny. Yeah.
No.
I'll completely agree with Andrea. I think bringing Piroe into the team now should bring out the best in him a lot, especially when there's somebody that's going to be able to play off, especially on that right hand side where he can cut in, especially because Piroe drops deep, and then he can move forward from that advanced attacking midfielder position or in from the right ring and get off those amazing shots that he was like known for before he comes to us. So I'm look, everybody's picking their teams on Twitter, you see, and no one's putting Rutter in their team. And I still think there's a lot to come from this lad. And as I said before, I'll live and die by my words that this lad's a good player and he's going to come good. I really, really do. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but he's definitely got something about him. He really has.
Do you know what I think it is when people reference people picking the teams? I think people are forgetting about Rutter. Now we've got Piroe, and I think they forget that he can play out wide. I mean, it's mad that he hasn't scored for us yet. And he won Hoffenheim's goal of the season.
He did score for us, but it didn't count.
Yeah, it didn't count, did it? Yeah, that's the only one he's had.
Oh, Western. Spoiling the party again.
The weekend. The fat weekend.
Don't, man, don't.
It's the whole
They'll-
week, mate. It ain't the weekend. It's the whole week.
It's back at Juve now, and they didn't find a buyer now, a club willing to get him now. So he's staying with Juve, and they're using him as a sub. Clearly,
Yeah,
as
I've seen a US men's team account saying, "Oh, he's staying at Juventus now. It means that they want to keep him and he's going to be a baller." He got man of the match against Real Madrid in the friendly. But yeah, Simon Walton got man of the match against Real Madrid in the friendly, didn't he? Who was always in Valencia back in the day. Look what happened to him. So yeah,
they're just mad because they need a massive bench now, so they're really mad about it. They need to extend the bench a little bit.
Well, they've got to put weight.
Squeeze them in.
Yeah. So when Weston sits down, they don't go flying into the air like something out of cartoons.
Go through so much butter.
Anyway, we don't talk about exes.
Yes.
Not on this podcast. Well, if we do, we slag them off, but hopefully they'll see it. So I want to talk about obviously Eiling's goal. James, in slow motion, he rose like a salmon with a ponytail. Would you agree?
Yeah, it was an absolute peach of a header.
Yeah.
I just wish he was as good at defending as he was at heading, because then he'd be like a really good player. The goal was great. The goal was great, to be fair to him, and we needed it, to be fair. I said to Kev, it was probably going to be someone like Ailing that was going to score against West Brom, because we were just battering them, but we couldn't find a way through, and then Ailing pops up, doesn't he? Yeah. So fair play to him, but just start defending better, please.
I thought it was a good header, good connection, good direction, but I thought the defending was poor from whoever it was. I thought he was just too static and on his heels.
Got subbed off, didn't he, after that?
Peters. Yeah, Peters.
They brought him off after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peters, yeah.
That shit right back is just done you. You're coming off, mate.
Luke Ayling scored against you. Get off.
Dragged him off by his hair. Get off.
Yeah. Obviously, Dan James involved. Great cross, and just to spotlight on Dan James a bit as well. I'm really pissed off at that keeper for saving that shot from Dan James where we're just going to loop in. Is it Palmer?
Yeah. Palmer, yeah.
Great saves. But I was really annoyed when that didn't go in, because I'd have happily got that tattooed on me. Because what a goal that would have been.
Yeah, second time now after Cardiff too. Also, the one against Cardiff was a good shot, and Alvin saved that. So it's really unlucky now in terms of goalkeepers. James. Everyone became Buffon against him basically now.
When he gets on target.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When he's got his boots on the right feet. I do feel like James is coming leaps and bounds, because his crossing's a lot better, and I think his decision making's getting better. It's just the final product, because there were that miss where it were harder to miss than it was to miss.
Fucking bad, James. That was a terrible miss. That was a terrible miss. So just, do you know what? I forgot all about that. So you just said it now. That was. I know
it took a little bit of a knock, but I just think you're like 2 yards away, and even if it came off your ass,
he didn't saw the ball come. He didn't see the ball coming really. For me,
should have fouled it. Yeah, should have fouled it. Come on.
Yeah.
So felt it in the presence.
All the good players know when the ball's going to come to them. Their anticipation levels are off the chart. So
even if they're hobbits.
Even if it is Dan James, but yeah, I do think he could have a big season this year. But obviously, with the developments in the last few days, I do think he'll play against Ipswich at the weekend. I really, really don't. I think he's definitely going to start. But where does he fit now if we keep all these Somerville, Gnonto, Sinistera, Piroe, Russo? Where's he going to fit in his squad? And possibly these other lads coming in as well. One or two or any other player that plays in that attacking third. Where's Dan James going to fit into that system? Then that's what I'll just think a little bit now. He'll probably end up getting loaned out at the end of it to some Premiership team or something like that.
I don't know.
Or we just keep him and he smashes it. I don't know.
Yeah, because right now I think he's adapted for tomorrow, because Farke said yesterday that he doesn't know if he's going to be fit enough to make the bench or even starting, or just sitting out the game because he has a groin issue, I think. So just for tomorrow, but I get what Kevin's saying. There's a lot of wingers right now. Gnonto, Somerville, James, and even Rotter can play there, because For me, when you have Piroe and Bamford and Rotter, if you consider all of them number 9s, and I still think Platter is not a number 9, they are all very similar type of player. So the only different one is Joseph, probably the youngster, So the two wingers are congestions, Just there's a lot of traffic on the wings right now. A lot of competition.
Joseph might go out and learn.
Yeah.
Just quickly then, just to round this off, Andrea, do you see Matteo Joseph fitting this system?
Well, as a number 9, honestly, I have doubts. Because I think in pre-season especially, he played him on the wing before he got injured. So I think he sees him as a winger too. And I said that Perkins needed to go on loan, and I'm glad they sent him out on loan because he needs experience and needs grounding, especially because after what Farke said about his attitude in training, he needs to go and play and show if he can be a part of Leeds next season. And so it's good that they send him out on at Oxford. I keep Gallagher, honestly. But if you keep Gallagher, probably Matteo Joseph, you keep him in the squad, but of course he's not going to play a big part because he's going to be a squad player, clearly, a solution, especially maybe when there's some injuries, because of course it's Leeds United we're talking about, and there's going to be
definitely they're all going to be injured.
Yeah, at some point someone's going to be injured. Yeah, I do think you're right about Perkins. Perkins did need a loan, and if there is going to be some sort of teams that you do go out to, Oxford is one of them because they did quite well with Bate last year, didn't they? And seems like a good setup there for young players. So I'm quite happy with that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
go Danny. Go, Danny.
Oh, see that's a mystery to me. How we saw Lewis Bate. He had a really good game in pre-season, and we were thought, there's something there. He smashed it in League One, but it's been non-existent since. Do you think there's? Do you think Farke doesn't see him in the midfield, or do you think he's another one out the door potentially, James?
Possibly, mate. I think he's wanting to get up. He might not say it, but I think he wants to get up to the Premier League. So, like, Bate is a good player, but you're gonna need a bit more, I think, this year. Keeping him around and playing him in like cup games and that, then fair enough. But is he going to do that? He's probably going to play a bit more, isn't he? So I don't know. There's a few of them like that. Like Joseph as well. He might go out on loan, but you don't know. I don't know, mate. To be honest with you, I got a clue what I was going to do with Bate.
Yeah.
Well, I think right now I wanted to keep him, but it's clear that Farke sees a similar type of player ahead of him, and that player is Shackleton, who has similar characteristics to Bate. But actually, Bate has more vision because Shackleton is more like a workhorse. It's more like a Dallas mentality type of player.
On drugs, a workhorse on drugs.
Yeah, he's just boot around that pitch, doesn't he? Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, he's basically everywhere. If you ask him to play in goal, probably he plays in goal too. Shackleton he has that mentality, but Bate has more vision. But we need physical players in midfield, and if you keep in Shackleton, you have to send probably Bate on loan. And it's a similar situation to Perkins for me, because clearly Horta sold the dream to those players, especially signing a lot of players for the academy. And those players didn't really have a path through the first team. Of course, Bate played a bunch of games on the match when he played a good game. Then the next game he started him against Chelsea, and it wasn't the right game to start. So they were really unlucky in that case. I think Bate they did well in sending him out on loan to Oxford last season, and they have to do this. They have to do the same for Perkins this season. Probably Bate will need another loan to another top League One club, probably. So maybe next season he'll have a loan to the Championship club if we are promoted to the Premier League, or he stays with Leeds if unfortunately we are still in the Championship.
He did quite well when he came on against Shrewsbury, didn't he? Where he did that turn in the middle. That's you can't say some of our midfield players won't be able to do that, but he's got great vision, and you can see that he's got something about him. It's just I can't see him getting up and down the pitch like the rest of the midfielders will do in Farke's system. we've mentioned a couple of times. I just feel he's a bit lightweight as well, and he isn't he ain't going to put in those dirty tackles that we need in the middle of the park that Archie Gray and Ampadu have been doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Archie Gray, by the way, wow. Him and Ampadu, he's beyond his years, isn't he? Right, James? You like Ampadu?
I like Gray. Really happy with Gray.
Yeah, I mean, can I get your thoughts on Gray? Where do you see him being here for a long time?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Good chat. Okay.
No, mate. I do. I think he's Leeds, ain't he? His whole family is. So
yeah.
You know, Eddie's still knocking about. He even said, didn't he? He's like, there could be a chance that he'll have 4 or 5 of Grays in the team at one point. So it's like, there's loads of them, mate.
Yeah.
So
they're like rabbits, aren't they?
Yeah.
Rabbits.
The name Gray's going to be with Leeds for a long time. I'm telling you.
Yeah, there'd be more Grays in the Leeds team than Grays in Rhodes in Red Dead Redemption 2. At that point.
Yeah. Very apt. I like it, Andrea. So segueing into the snaky. Sorry, I mean transfers. Tyler Adams has left to go to Bournemouth. He's slid down the young one towards to Bournemouth. He likes beaches apparently. Also, he went to Chelsea, did the medical, and then Chelsea went, "Nah, you're okay, bro. We want someone else."
You're a bit broken, you are. Go away.
I saw a video of him training at Bournemouth that came out on the socials today. He was just moving from side to side, and all the Bournemouth fans were getting really happy about it.
Yeah.
Well, can't pass forward anyway.
You know how I feel about his contingent, his fellow compatriots, and all 3 of their teams that they support. Mostly Arsenal, Liverpool, and Bayern Munich or something like that. Anyway, so he failed at Chelsea. Well, he did fail at Chelsea. Sorry, Chelsea just binned him off, and according to some reports, allegedly, no confirming this, that he told Leeds United to rip up his contract, and I'm not coming back. Find me a club basically, and it did come out that he did use a sports lawyer to make the move. Andrea, do you think 23 million? You know, varying reports, but we'll say it's 23. Is this a good move for Adams, and is it good business for us?
Well, looking at the fact that the clause was 20, at least we got a few more millions. You know, I think we should have gone for 28, 27. At least, but probably we'll get there with the add-ons. Probably a good move, probably yes, because I don't think he was ready for the big step. You know, to clubs like Chelsea, or even there were even talks about clubs like Aston Villa. You know, he's not ready for that step in the Premier League right now for me. and honestly, I think his level is mid-table right now. He's not in the top half of the table. At the minute, there were even talks about him joining European clubs, playing in European competition after the World Cup. You know, AC Milan interested, Inter Milan interested, but it's not ready for that yet. I think we got a bit overwhelmed as a fan base by his passion on the pitch, because if you look at the type of player, of course, he's very aggressive on the pitch, but he's also limited, because he's very good in what he does, but what he does is very limited in terms of aggression, tackles. But going forward in the build-up, his contribution is little, and especially replacing him with Ampadu in this system, I don't think Adams would have worked perfectly in this system, honestly, because it's a ball possession system, in contrary to what we were used to under Marsh, and especially the librarian Avi Gracia, you know, man without a passion. Avi Gracia, it's a different system right now, and I don't think it would have worked for him for his specific characteristics. So honestly, I will watch him, honestly, because I watch a lot of the Premier League, but I'm intrigued to see how I will do under Iraola, because Iraola's system is very similar to Farke. So I want to see if what I talked about him not fitting the Farke system really well is right or not, compared to the similar system of Iraola. Yeah.
Kev, do Obviously, you're a big fan of Tyler Adams. I know you've got Adams on the back of your shirt.
Adam's family.
Adam's family, yeah.
Are you sad to see him go? I mean, I know you say that he can't pass forward, which is true. But
Yeah, on a real one, yeah, probably. I would like to see what he could have done for us in the Championship, and I would have felt a bit more secure, knowing that he was in our midfield the way we used to get ran through last year. I don't think that's going to happen under Farker, but yeah, I do think we should have got more money for him as well. But I would have liked to see him play with Ampadu and let the attacking players just get on with their game. But obviously, we're never going to see it now. And if it is the case that he's just left and he wanted to rip up his contract, then he can just fuck off. In my eyes, if he's not Leeds, then yeah, he has. So, but it's just one of them, innit? It's just what could have been and all that crap. He's no more. But the way we see all this stuff happening in the transfer market now, just as soon as he left. So obviously, this money that we've got in from him is opened up the market for us, and we're crying out for a 9. And Ampadu seems a good replacement, like Andrea just said. So yeah, we'll probably be a better team without him in it with the money that we've got from there.
Yeah, James, any poems for Tyler Adams that you'd like to recite? Or
No, it's a complete twat. But I do think he's a good player, though. I do think he's a really good player. He has mastered what he does, and he does it really, really good. And I do actually think if he was in a good team, like a Chelsea or somebody, like I think he'd be good in there because he'd just win the ball back, pop it off to someone absolutely amazing, and that's all he has to do. And he'd be praised for it, and they'd love him for it. And all he's doing is tackling. So I think he'd actually be quite good in a good team, but. He's at Bournemouth now, so I don't give a shit anymore. Bye-bye. See you in a bit.
I love it. Don't give a shit anymore. James 2023. Hang it in the Louvre. James, I love you. Honestly, love you already. So now, for me personally, I think if that's Tyler Adams, I mean, obviously you take it with a pinch of salt because it's from Twitter. Like if I've seen that firsthand, I'm thinking, right, you're a dick. Get out of the club. I don't want you here anyway. I don't care. Maybe that's what they've done. And just gone, right, just Bournemouth won him. Go. And maybe we've tried to play a bit of a hardball, because there were tweets saying that they've not met the valuation, the expired. Maybe that's why we've got a few more quid. But you said it last time you were on. If you want to go, just go. Get out of our club. We don't want you here. If you don't want to play for the shirt, and Parker says it brilliantly as well. Obviously, if you don't want to play for the club, then you leave. Which leads me onto Gnonto. Right. I personally, I'll start this. I think Parker has handled him really well. I think he's done it professionally, and I think that. It's not his first rodeo, Farker, with a player like this. He did it with Cantwell and Buendia, I think, at Norwich. And I think what I'm trying to say is, right, he says, right, he's got a second chance. There isn't a third. Okay, we'll come to you first. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Gnonto? And I'll go around with the rest of the boys as well. I mean, because it's dividing opinions. So, is it because he's refused to play? Are you get him out, or are you willing to stand with Fark and say, right, okay, he's young?
I want to win football matches, and I think Leeds, with Willie Gnonto in the team, will win more football matches. I do think he's 19, and I think his head's been turned by his agent, and I guess that's what a lot of people saw as well. And there is a redemption arc here for him. I really, really do. And I think if it was any other manager other than Farker will probably be outside, then he probably wouldn't get back in the team. But because he's put his arm around him, made him come and apologise. I'm happy. I'm happy for him to be back in the team right now. We are a better team with Willie Gnonto in it. Let's just hope that he just doesn't throw his toys out the pram before the end of the window. But I do suspect with the Euros coming up that we might see some bids for him in January if he does stay beyond next week.
I think that,
yeah, well, I think that might be part of the deal that he's maybe said to him. He goes, give us a a good showing until January, see where we are in the team, and then we could possibly think about a sale to a top club, and then you can have a good run at the Euro, 6 months before the Euros in another side, maybe.
But yeah, I mean, as football fans, we are fickle. You know, if a couple of good games, and we might get those good races a bit. You know, James, did you put a picture of Gnonto on your dartboard and throw darts at it for about an hour?
Mate, I don't waste my energy on these people that do this shit to us. I really don't, because it doesn't serve me well. You know, I'd smash things up, so I don't want to do that anymore. But with Gnonto, I think he just go on. What
go on, mate. Sorry. I was saying, just for those
did it again. Did it again. Did it again.
I was waiting for that. Yeah.
You go.
I was just about to say, for those that are tuning in for the first time, James is not an angry person, and then that just happened. The part of the joke is that he's not angry, but then he just burst out with anger. So I look at it now. Thanks, James.
I'm like the Hulk deep down. Don't want to make me angry. I'll start headbutting things. Nah. I think with Gnonto, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt, I guess. I mean, I don't care if we sell it. If we sold him now, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be like, oh, well, I don't really care. But he's a great player, and we will be better with him in the squad at least, adding something to it. And if he wants to do one in January, as long as he's played really well up to then and we're top of the league, then see you in a bit, mate.
Andrea?
Well, yeah, I think he was badly voiced. Then his agent tried to force a move without realizing that no one was going to match or offer 35, 32 million pounds, you know. Everton are not going to offer that, and Everton are the only club interested, really. So he caused all that fuss. He made Gnonto cause all that fuss for nothing, refusing to play thrice for 3 times, refusing to board the bus to Birmingham, and ending in a transfer request before a big game, turning the focus away for the game to himself and a transfer situation minutes before the start of the game versus West Brom. So I'm happy, and I trust Farke, so I'm happy that the situation has apparently resolved. I trust Farke's judgment. I would still like, however, to see a public apology from Gnonto, and I would still like, as an Italian, to see him change his agent, because, of course, if you look at his legacy, he was a fan favorite. He built a good relationship throughout last year with the fans, and all that was ruined. Like Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, but what was destroyed in one. That's the same that happened to the relationship with Gnonto, with the fans. What happened to Gnonto with the relationship with the fans, you know, and now he has to start from the scratch again and rebuild that trust with the fans, and all for nothing, basically, because his agent made him do all that bad decision, made him act like that, and all for nothing, because in the end he didn't get his move. He's still at Leeds, and probably I agree with both Kevin and James. You know, probably in January, if he plays well, there'll be offers. I still think that, of course, I said no one is going to pay 32 million pounds for a player in the Championship on Joe's show the other night. And someone said to me, but West Ham have paid that from James Ward-Prowse. It's a slightly different situation. For me, Ward-Prowse was balling in the Premier League for years. Gnonto had just 1 season, and it was also override for me, because he still needs to develop a lot. He's a good player on the rise, but still needs to develop a lot, because there's loads of Italian players right now in the national team better ahead of him in this position. So he will need to fight and give his all 100%, especially staying with us, to gain his place in our national team, you know, because the new manager Spalletti won't look at the level of the league at the end of the league. He looks at the talent, and if he plays really well, he won't consider the press protesting, because the press will protest, the Italian press, about the call-up of a player from a second tier. If he plays really well and gives 100%, I think he'll get picked anyway with the new manager Spalletti.
Wasn't Sandro Tonali picked when he was playing in the second tier as well, Andrea, for the Italy national team?
He got called up for a camp, but wasn't in the final squad for those qualifiers. He was at Brescia. Then he got the first call up when he went to Serie A with Brescia. The last ones were 3 players from Serie B when Gnonto was called up. The only one time when he was at Zurich in the Nations League after we got eliminated by North Macedonia. Then after that, they never got called up again, apart from Gatti, who moved from Frosinone to Juventus. So historically, the last player from the second tier called up for the Italian national team before them was Maccarone, who played at Boro. When he was at Empoli before moving to Boro, 2002, 2002. So it's not the cost in Italy to call a player from the second tier, you know.
Is Gnonto's agent did the same as Zaniolo, no?
Exactly, yeah.
And he got shipped off to that horrible club, didn't he?
Yeah,
in Turkey.
exactly.
And now he's finally got a move to Villa.
Villa, yeah.
Villa.
Yeah.
Were we interested in him as well though at one point as Zaniolo?
They were trying to flog into us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or his agent probably was, yeah.
We almost signed him actually
Yeah.
because Radrizzani on a podcast in Italy said that basically we were getting Zaniolo if Harrison went to Roma on the opposite way, and Harrison basically didn't want to go to Roma, so it didn't happen for that specifically.
That was a shame.
Yeah.
Where's he now? The thing with that is he could come back next year.
Yeah.
Because Jack Harrison is one of the players out of that group that the fans may take to coming back next year. Is Jack Harrison. I don't think he's going to have a good season there because the way he plays and the way they play it doesn't look compatible to me. And I just feel like he's going to be made a scapegoat by the Everton fans as well. I think he's going to have a horrible season, Jack Harrison.
Yeah.
Did you say Aronson or Harrison?
Harrison.
No, not you, Andrea. Was it
Harrison?
Aronson?
No, Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison.
Oh, Jack Harrison.
Jack Harrison.
Oh no, keep him.
Yeah.
Aronson probably been blown away by the German wind. You know what I mean? He's just a Brendan Aronson
Floating around above them all, with everyone around kicking the ball. He's loud in the wind. Come down.
It's just a human Duracell battery.
Yeah, he's like a little kite, isn't he? He's like a little kite with a pair of football boots on.
Oh, bless him. But it's Medford Messi, mate.
Medford Messi.
Medford Messi. Where's Medford? New Jersey, man. They're all made of paper. Anyway, moving on.
No wins. 0 wins.
0 passes, but 100% effort. Yeah, team. Right, stop.
They'll come back for you again, mate. They'll come back for you again.
I'm not going back to therapy. I'm not going back. Sinistera. Do we know the... Stop it.
Yeah.
So, Sinistera, there was a legal issue. I've not seen what it is. Andrea, do you know anything about this?
I think the legal issue was about the fact that his clause had expired or not. I think they were considering if one of the games that he played was on last season had triggered a clause or not, probably in his contract. But it's restored now.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I did see that.
I thought they found out he was not really 64.
No, that's his knees. His knees are 64.
Yeah.
Oh, 64 knees. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
64-year-old biscuits. That's what they are. So, right. So we'll move on to the press conferences. All right. We'll skim over it a bit. But the main, obviously, he said all the right stuff. He pressed all the right buttons. The biggest one for me is, you don't mess around with Leeds United. James, how happy were you?
Very happy. It's what you want to hear from your manager, don't you? You want to hear that sort of stuff. He's saying the right things, whether he means or not, it's one thing, but that's what we like to hear. So it's just about his performances now, really, isn't it? So if they keep up, it doesn't matter what he says. He could talk gibberish, but if we're winning games, no one's going to care.
Yeah.
So just do that bit, and then we're all good. But happy with what he's saying.
I do feel like, 100%. I do feel like that he has not been given a great situation to start off with. And do you think, Kev, do you think that he knew this was going to happen from the outset?
I do actually. Yeah, I do. I think. Yeah, I think he knew about this from the start. I really do, because that's the way he's handled it. It's been really, really well, and I think he knew that there was going to be a bit of a shitstorm coming with player contracts, because they would have had to told him. Because if I was a new manager going into somewhere like that, then you wouldn't want to be around it unless you knew what was going on. I think he did know about it, and he just handled it really, really well. And he knew like he was going to lose half the team. Maybe I didn't think the ones that he didn't probably think he was going to lose would be people like Voba and Harrison. Obviously, them two are gone, and you can see what he's done, brought in those replacements for those players. Always trying to bring in those replacements for those players. But yeah, I do think he knew what was going on at the club. Definitely, I don't think he would have took the job if he didn't have all the information. Because you can see that's the sort of bloke he is. Like, he likes everything that's transparent.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree totally, 100%. Andrea, coming to you, do you think that, I know it's early days, early in the season, but he's pressing the right buttons and saying the right things. Do you think that Farke is and should have been the natural successor to Bielsa? I know it's a bold statement, but in my opinion, I think it's not far away.
Yeah, it's not far away because they play a similar style of play. Of course, Farke is more balanced probably than Bielsa. Bielsa was more constant pressure. I think the difference with Farke is that he's more like a oriented pressing system. But yeah, if you look at the caliber of the man, there are a lot of similarities, especially with Bielsa developing young players and improving the veterans. I think Farke will look to do exactly the same, especially looking at the composure of our squad, in terms of age, experience, and also young players. But yeah, he was probably a good pick at the time as a successor of Bielsa. Looking backwards, surely more a successor than Jesse Marsh, because they said that they were thinking at the time that Bielsa will have left anyway at the end of the season, and Marsh will have taken over anyway at the end of the season. And honestly, there was no plan, because if you consider that Marsh as a successor of Bielsa, you haven't done your own work probably. They play a totally different style of football, and the experience is completely different. Farke has a mentality. Farke has a mentality exactly the same as Bielsa. They both have their mentality. They both represent the club. Bielsa was the face of the club. Farke is doing exactly the same right now, because no one apart from him is speaking from the club. He's turning into the face of the club right now. And I like an honest person speaking facts and trying to be honest with the fans instead of some crap. Constantly said in press conferences trying to impress and like a philosopher. I just still remember when we lost 4-1 with Man City, and he went, Marsh, I'm talking about, to the fans saying, oh, like we won, and saying that we have played a good game after losing against Forest, every time the same. I like someone that speaks facts and who's really honest and frank and direct to the fans, like Farke.
Yeah. I mean, going from Bielsa, the ethos, the mentality, all everything, the culture that came with it, going from that to Jesse Marsh is like having a nice plate of food and then someone just shitting all over it.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Because I'm sorry, that's a bit of a extreme thing. I just thought of it on the spot, pressure and all that. It was not the successor to Bielsa at all. Farke is more fitted to what Bielsa did. Exactly what you said. James, do you still have a Jesse Marsh tag?
Yeah. It's on your back though.
What do you same like the press conference overall? Were you just revitalized from it?
Me, yeah. I think it is nice getting someone that knows what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just waffle.
I mean, you
I've never
don't celebrate moments.
Vibes FC. That's what we were before. Vibes, yeah.
Richmond FC.
I think Yeah, I think he got the idea.
Richmond, fuck me. Oh,
We
bloody hell.
say about the Man City he was celebrating. I think he got the idea like that when you lose in the Premier League, you actually win. So that's why we just didn't ever win. So we was like celebrating every loss because he's just stupid. But anyway, we've actually got a manager that knows how to get people in positions when we have to defend instead of just going, just run back and just stand in front of the goal, because that's what our defensive tactic was under Marsh. So it's nice that we've actually got a bit of structure back there as opposed to just all running forward constantly.
In a straight line all the players staying in line with a goalpost on the pitch as well, because that's where the goals are.
So I am happy.
Consider a goal.
Yeah.
So moving straight on onto the past 48 hours, where my thumbs are hurting from all the tweeting I've been doing.
I've noticed.
So we'll start with the big boy, big old JP7, Joel Piroe, however you see it, for £10.5 million, rising to 16 if all the add-ons are met. First of all, I'm still hard from it. I think the table's still rocking. What a signing this is for us.
Yes.
No more Bamford. Andrea, you know more about Joel Piroe and what he brings to the table. Are you excited? I know for a fact that you said you'd see it as a bit of a panic buy, but what do you think now that we've actually signed him? Do you see it working more?
Well, I said that it was a panic buying because I think there were other players back in the market like Archer who were more suited to the system. But yeah, I'm happy they signed him, honestly. I'm intrigued because it's not the typical number 9 in a Farke system. If you look at the players that were crucial in that position for him, Pukki, for example, at Norwich, or Thuram, they are a very different player from Piroe, and they were the main guys, and in his team. So it's a challenging event for Farke, but of course, if you look at the type of transfer, you went and bought one of the top strikers in the league, and looking at his record, goal scoring record in the last 2 seasons. So it's clearly a statement signing. I really hope that he will work under Farke, but if they have signed him, Farke really trusts the signing and has given his sign of approval on that. So I'm intrigued on how he'll develop Piroe, because of course he's a physical one. Of course, sometimes he drops back, but it's not his main skill. He's still central. He's a poacher, he's a finisher. And if you look at Pukki and Thuram, for example, they were more all-around players, moving a lot off the ball. And right now we have a lot of players that can do that, especially the wingers. You've seen Sinister against Cardiff, he moved a lot in the final third, same as Somerville. So probably Piroe, for me, he was still central, and they will try to transform him into the finisher he is, to use him as the finisher he is. So he won't need to drop back, probably, like the other strikers used to do under Farke. And he'll stay central and try to get at the end of crosses and opportunities, like the cross of James for Ayling, for example. I think he will be that type of player, trying to hold up the ball, to create space for his teammates, and also be the finisher we desperately need in terms of being more clinical in the final third. And yeah, I'm happy because it's a statement signing. I'm intrigued at the same time because I think it's not the typical 9 Farke used to work with.
Yeah, on the head there again, Andrea. This is why I've paid you a lot of money on this podcast.
For the pizza.
Yeah. Speaking of pizza,
you did say it was still hard as well.
Yeah.
Table's a bit wobbly.
Yes.
We've got the main ingredients.
Andrea, run.
Andrea, it's the base and the sauce. You've got Kev, who's the cheese. You've got James, who's the ham. And then you've got the most important ingredient, which I am, pineapple.
Coconut.
Anyway, moving on.
You can't say that to
No,
an
it's not
Italian man. Yeah, don't do that,
No.
please.
I
No,
saw him reaching for his gun.
He
No,
can say everything. The only thing that I don't want to hear is that don't put the ananas on that pizza, please.
Yeah. So, Kev,
Yes.
you absolutely buzzing for Piroe. And how many times have you watched his goals compilation?
At least 10 today already. I've been watching. I'll be honest. I've been watching a lot of video compilations today. I had a bit of time this afternoon, and I've been watching obviously Paintsil and Amiri and Joel Piroe for half the day. He scores goals with both feet, and obviously you don't see that a lot. He's very good all round, but I have watched a few videos where he seems to drop a little bit deeper and dropping onto the right hand side a little bit as well. So maybe it could be if he's looking for a new 10, someone that can interchange with him, which is where I'll go back to my main man Jorginho Russo again. So maybe them two could play off each other in those sort of roles if we don't bring in another 10. But yeah, I do see Piroe dropping a lot more deeper than some of the other strikers that we've been linked with, like Andrea just said, Archer's like play off the last man sort of striker, where Piroe likes to get involved, hold up the ball, but he scores goals with both feet, and you don't see that very often in strikers these days. I think he's very good all round. I don't think you'll be seeing him playing him in behind as much because he doesn't seem to be as quick as the other strikers that we've been linked with. But I do think he's going to get a good amount of goals this year for us, the way we play as well, and he does get on the end of crosses. So fingers crossed, this will be our statement sign end of the year.
Yeah, I think they'll get a few, and I think that Rutter Piroe link up may be something to watch out for. Hopefully, maybe that's what Farke wants to do.
I want to mention something else. Sorry, Daniel. I need to get this in because I put this with James yesterday. I'm really sorry to do this, but I do think bringing in another striker actually takes some pressure off Patrick Bamford. Gives him time to get ready, and because there's no pressure on him, he's probably going to be playing with a lot more freedom now. Coming on the last 20 minutes, I actually think Bamford, if he stays fit, might get a few goals in this season too, just because he's got Piroe there. Yeah, I might put a couple of quid on it because Bamford's been that man that's been battered by the club for years, been playing because we've had nobody else, and he's destroyed himself, even when he's missing chances and that as well. But I think because he's got someone else coming in taking that mantle away from him, I think he'll play with a lot less pressure on his shoulders, and I think you might see him get a quite good amount of goals, 5 to 6 goals this year for Patrick Bamford from the bench.
I wrote that down. I'll come back.
Please don't bookmark it, yeah, but someone's going to come after me for this. But I do think it takes the pressure off him a lot, yeah.
Hound him on Twitter if you're watching this.
Do it. Rub it right in his mush.
James, we're absolutely buzzing to see that. I mean, especially how quick it was from the morning, and then get it signed. Like no messing about from the club. Fine, straight hype up Joel Piroe. Are you buzzing?
Yeah, mate. Contract man's coming out, isn't he? But don't worry about him like running in behind. Have you seen Dan James?
Yeah.
He can run quite quick. He can run quite quick. He'll have speed demons around him, mate. Just buzzing around. Can he shoot though? So, Joel Piroe? Yeah, pretty well.
Just think about it.
I'm very happy with that.
Just think about it. Yesterday morning, our front four for Ipswich was going to be Shackleton, Pervader, Dan James, and Galhart, and now could be Gnonto, Sinistera, Rutter, and Joel Piroe starting up as a front four tomorrow against Ipswich. That's crazy, isn't it?
Just Piroe, right? Going around everyone.
Yeah.
Andrea, does Piroe start for you tomorrow? He is match fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you have to start him. Because apart from him, there's no other number 9 right now. Yes. I honestly, he has to start. He plays for Swansea. He's much fit, so you have to start him. Put him in front, even if he doesn't know the system yet. Put him in front and he score.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt.
Love it. James,
if you can play, definitely play him. Yeah. I mean, don't take a lot to stick the ball in the net, so you can just do that.
Yeah, just do that, mate. Thanks.
Just do that, mate.
I'm waiting for the tweets from Phil A saying, no Piroe, and then after the game, Yeah, he's broke his legs. Getting off
He's
the
been-
bus at 4
He's left on loan.
You rub past
He's
Bamford and caught his disease.
Yeah.
yeah, biscuit knee-itis.
Yes.
I was going to talk about Pencil and Amiri, but after we'll talk about it right quick. Obviously, we couldn't believe our luck for the past 48 hours. Wow, Piroe's done. Wow, Pencil's we've offered 8 million, 8+3, and then Amiri's coming in at number 10 / midfielder, and both of those deals are starting to crumble a little bit. I mean, Amiri, Andrea, you said off air, like, you know more about the situation. Is he staying at Bayer Leverkusen now?
Well, in Germany, they're saying that he's probably staying there because of a family situation. That his girlfriend partner, is has to give birth soon. So it's difficult to relocate in these situations. But honestly, it would have been, of course, there's still a small hope that it happens. It would have been a proper signing for the championship player with 5 German 5 caps for the German national team. And especially if they were looking to sign both Pencil and Amiri. For me, Pencil, looking at the amount of winger we had, he would have used him as the number 10 and Amiri as number 8. So it would have been a very good scenario for that. I think there's more room for negotiation with Pencil. 10 million I've read. So I think we can go 12 probably, but after that we don't. Probably we'll look at some other names, in the end. And that's the risk of leaving it too late. I think that's the risk you face during the last days of the transfer window. But of course, in the end, that whole situation was slowed down till we sold Azams to have some income because of the financial regulations to reinvest in the window. Because of course, Kinnear in his program said that it was wrong because he said that with the loan situation, we saved more than 30 million to reinvest in the squad, but that's not the case because for the financial regulations, you need income for the club in order to reinvest. So that is wrong. That's a risk, next season, probably next week, if we don't get Pencil or Amiri, we'll have to go for plan B. And of course, everything can happen in the last week of the transfer window, and also panic buying can happen. Those two were great targets. Still hope they can get them through the line, but if not, we're back and we have to go through plan B, and hopefully it is as good as plan A.
Yeah. Obviously, with Amiri, I think his missus has just googled Beeston, and she's like, yeah.
She saw the traffic getting out of Ellen Road and thought, fuck that, yeah.
So why have you subscribed to Winston's? I don't watch this. James, were you excited by this type of ambition?
I was just excited that looked like we were buying players, mate, because we've been waiting for ages. And I was just happy that we were seeing some action. Obviously, getting Piroe in, it's brilliant. And then we get these two that we're linked to. I've had a little look at them; they seem decent. Just get them in. If not, then hopefully there's some backup. I was saying to Kev, we need backup. I hope they've got other targets that they've already sort of linked to and speaking to behind closed doors type thing. Because we ain't got long, so we still need players.
No, I think we'll get maybe two in the same positions. Kev, coming to you, we've had links to Jet Spence as well. Would you be happy with that signing?
Very, very happy with that signing. I think he fits Farke's system really, really well. The way the fullbacks like to get forward, it'd be a massive upgrade on Luke Ayling. It looks like he doesn't fancy Cody Drame as well, unless he's been injured or there's something going on behind the scenes there. Jed Spence would be huge. However, if you ask me where I'd like us to go first, it would be go for the centre midfielders, left back. Then it would be a right back from there, from that. And someone that can play as an 8 or a 10 as well in those two centre midfield spots. So Lewis O'Brien, I think he'd be good. Glenn Kamara, I think would be good. And Amiri would be exceptional. Pencil, I've been watching videos of him all day today, and The way he finishes the ball, he's so calm and he's really, really quick. The way he gets the ball, he's like, he doesn't panic and he just slots the ball underneath the keeper or puts it into the corner. I've never even heard of him until now, and he looks like he'd be a really, really good player, especially in our team in that division. But yeah, I still think they'll bring in. I think they might get 4 players in before next week. I'd like to hope they will. 2 centre midfielders, attacking midfielder, and a left back. That's what I'd be going for right now. Because I know we need
definitely. More... No, sorry, mate. Go on.
Sorry, it's fine. Crack on, Andrea. Sorry, mate.
Sorry. I just you know more about Paintsil and Jed Spence. Would Jed Spence fit this system perfectly? And
absolutely, absolutely. Both will fit the system perfectly, and there will be signings that will get the fans over the moon, because Paintsil is highly rated in Europe. If you get a type of player like him, of course, people see that he's playing in Belgium. They have doubts, but if you look at his physicality and his pace, he's a player who has championship football written all over him for the type of football he plays. And of course, Jed Spence, there's nothing more I can say. He's done it before with Nottingham Forest, and it will be brilliant. I think he got stuck in the Tottenham syndrome, when a young player signs for Tottenham and they get stuck, like Jack Clark, for example, or Joe Rodon. Yeah. Tottenham is not a club that, apart from his own products, like Oliver Skip, they don't have a path through the first team for the young players they sign from other clubs, apparently.
Yeah. I need to stop. I keep doing this. If I do that, I look like a Disney villain. Sorry.
We both have the shadow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just to round off, I know we're just past an hour, and I know you've got to get off, Andrea. You're a busy man. I won't keep you much longer. Just on the game tomorrow, then. Can I get? Well, we'll start with the team. Do you think he'll go strong, or do you think he'll leave Piroe out, James?
For what I want to happen and what I think he might do are 2 different things. I want him to put them all in. I want him to put them all in, and if he puts them all in, I think we'll win. But if he puts the same team, I think a draw maybe.
If all of them score, there's no way we can't lose, no?
Oh, guys, I'm gonna have to jump in here. I've just seen something. Sinistera, Gnonto, Piroe, and Somerville have all travelled in a squad for Ipswich for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, Somerville goes everywhere with Gnonto, so that doesn't mean
I suppose so. Yeah. So I've just seen that now, and the table's risen a little bit. Yeah. Oh my god.
If they all play, we'll win, and I think we'll win comfortably.
I don't know how you're going to fit all of them in the same team, but we'll see.
There's space. You'll find them. We're a little team, so just squeeze them all in.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I put me up that as. Danny, I'm just going to get mine in now. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I am, yeah. Yeah.
Let's jump straight in. Andrea, how do you feel knowing that news? Do you have to change your boxes?
With that from 4, I think I'm positive. To be fair, I'm optimistic because Ipswich are a similar side. They've started pretty well. They started exceptionally. Looking at also as a promoted side, they are similar. They are similarities, and I think with that from 4, and if we play with Ampadu and Gray, I think we can get the 3 points at Ipswich. Honestly, I'm positive, especially if Piroe starts. I'm thinking about a 2-0. Honestly.
Yep. 2-0.
Wow. Because Rodon and Stoke look like a good partnership. Of course, we conceded to West Brom, but it was like a scramble, and they score with and Asante scored with his hand. I think that there'll be quite a pretty strong partnership, Rodon and Stoke. So I'm pretty confident if we play with that from 4. Gnonto, Somerville, Sinistera, and Piroe, I think we win 2-0.
Oof.
I think Gnonto will be on the bench. Oh yeah, I think Gnonto will be on the bench out of those 4. Because he's obviously just coming back. So if they start with Sinistera, Somerville,
Rutter maybe, or Rutter in the bench.
Yeah, if Dan James is carrying a knock in, if he starts all of them, I'll be like, ooh. I'll be watching that on the visual radio tomorrow.
That's brilliant. They are unbeaten in 21 games, by the way.
Well, it's
And
going to be
that's
21
Till
isn't it?
tomorrow.
Until tomorrow now. With
Tomorrow, when
Yeah.
that big fat L comes in.
Yes.
James,
Mm-hmm.
what are you saying?
I'm a bit scared to give you my prediction because last time I gave it, you then said, "Oh, I'm going to put down a 1-0 loss in the 90+ minutes."
did.
And guess what
I
happened?
did.
You shit bag. So keep your mouth shut when I say this. I'm going to win them. I'm going to beat them 4-0.
Oof.
Ball one.
4-0.
4-0.
No
I'm
score.
gonna
I like
go
that. I like that.
for-
It's mad what 48
Mm.
hours can do for you, isn't it?
I know, they probably won't play, so I'll be like, "Oh shit."
It's a
Oh,
tough play. It's a tough play to go at the minus, but I think we'll have a reaction of mentality reaction tomorrow after, especially they'll be very angry. They'll be very angry. They have anger for victory. After what happened with West Brom, where we deserved looking at the second half to win it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think he'll start Piroe. I think because he's been playing for Swansea, and I think some of them will City on the wings, and I think they'll just feed Piroe all day. I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Leeds win.
Yeah.
I know, but I think Piroe's first goal is going to hit like pure, clean cut crack, and it'll lift the team, and especially the fans as well. And then, unfortunately, I think Gnonto will come on and he will get booed, which is people's own opinion.
He deserves.
Well, it's people's own opinion and preference. But the racism is
Nah.
No.
None of that. None of that.
You don't. No, not at all.
Just call him a shitbag and get it over and done with. Just don't go to those levels. It's Leeds. It's still Leeds, and that's it. It's Leeds until he isn't. And
I think he's learning the value of what it's like to play on this team. And I think if he plays well, his trajectory it's only going up, isn't it? So that roundabout sums it up for Not Another Leeds podcast episode 4. Andrea, thank you very much. I love you so much. I'll claim that money back later. Thank you for subscribing to my OnlyFans. Lads, James, Kev, always a pleasure to have you on.
thank you.
No problems, mate. Anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Danny, you've just gone over 100. You've just gone over 100 subscribers as well, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone who was subbed. And I love you all. 100 subs. Can't believe it. I'll have to go throw myself around the room. A lot. Once again, always a pleasure. Catch these guys on their YouTube channel, Leeds House Podcast. It's on Spotify as well, guys. Yeah, Spotify and
it's on everywhere.
Amazon podcast.
Yeah.
Pub Talk Podcast. I think it's the full name as well. Andrea, you'll see him on with Joe Wayman on the Just Joe football show with Lockie as well. I'm hoping to get on.
Yeah. He said he will. He said to me he will. So he's gonna come very soon. Yeah.
It's been recorded and it's.
Oh, you've said it now, Andrea.
Said it now, mate. Yeah.
Contract. Visual contract.
Yeah, it's
he'd be good. It'd be good to get on.
Yeah, but
really good as well.
Yeah, he has a long close to leave the Just Joe football show to.
Yeah.
Move here,
Watch out, Joe. I'm coming for you. I'm only 23,000 behind you, but I'm coming.
You'd love it if you'd beat him, wouldn't you? You'd love it.
You're coming already. Jesus Christ.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
It's a family show, lads. It's a family show. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching.
No worries.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
See ya.